Hi everyone, I'm Stan Mallow. Welcome to Paranormal Yacker. My guest on today's show is Elena Danaan. I'll be talking with Elena about her book, We Will Never Let You Down, Encounters with Val Thor and Journeys Beyond Earth. Elena Danaan, welcome to Paranormal Yacker.
Thank you very much for having me, Stan. Thank you very much.
You, Elena, was rescued as a child by extraterrestrials, kept contact with them all your life, and wrote about it in your best-selling book, A Gift from the Stars, which I interviewed you about on a previous episode of Paranormal Yacker. We Will Never Let You Down is a follow-up to that book. It depicts contacts you had with the command of Valiant Thor and your journeys in this solar system. When, where, and how, Elena, did you first come into contact with Valiant Thor, an ambassador of the Galactic Federation of Worlds?
My primary contact in the Galactic Federation of Worlds is a Pleiadian named Thorhan Eredion, who is now High Commander, is in the army. I asked him, I said, listen, I don't know if this is going to be possible, so I have a request. A lot of the people who read my first book, who following me, my information, there are many people asking me if I have information about Valiant Thor. And I said, could you help me find information? He said, yes, of course. He said, but he's not really interacting with civilians, even at all. His work is with the governments, the specific factions of governments. And he's not interacting with civilians. It's no. And I went, okay, but could you get me to have an appointment anyway? Can you force it? Can you just please try? I'd like to meet him or even have a remote communication, even if you translate, you pass on the relay of the communication. He said, listen, I'm going to do my best. And during 2 months, I didn't hear about this. And Thorhan was telling me it's not looking good. He doesn't want to talk to civilians. And after 2 months, Thorhan said, I have a surprise for you. You're invited on board the big mothership in orbit. I went, I'm regularly invited 2-3 times a month. So I said, okay, yes, great. It's happening again.
You write in your book about diplomatic negotiations that took place between Valiant Thor and U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower from 1958 to 1961. What, Elena, were they negotiating?
They were negotiating the creation of a defense force and a defense system of Earth against the gray aliens from the Orion group, who had infiltrated the Earth and the governments, especially in 1955 was the moment when the Greys from the Orion group passed an agreement with the MJ-12, actually. But allow me to just go very quickly on the history, then you understand better the position of Val Thor. The Greys had made contact with Earth since the 1940s. There has been several crashes, but some crashes were Trojan horses where they were trying to influence the military and some aspects of the government, saying, oh, look, see, wow, technology, it's great, isn't it? Oh, that would be great if we could help you retro-engineer it. Oh, look, bodies. Oh, you can study them as well. And there was a whole starting of getting, oh, wow, that's interesting. We could get this technology for weapons and war, etc. In 1954, the Galactic Federation of Worlds decides to make a move and contact the Earth governments, and especially Eisenhower. They landed, I don't remember how many spaceships there were, flying saucers. There were witnesses, first-hand witnesses at that time. Eisenhower met with representatives of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, and they told him, we are warning you. You have free will because it's the rule of evolution, but we cannot stop this. You decide. But it's very soon. The gray aliens, the Greys from the Orion group, are going to come and ask you for agreements. We recommend you do not sign anything with them because they are the most deceptive people in the galaxy, and you're going to get in trouble. please don't do this. We really advise you don't do this. And he said, in exchange, we can offer to you an agreement to help you with the technology to build a peaceful defense force. There's no weapon, no war industry involved. You need to know that. Eisenhower actually signed something with them regarding the creation of a program of collaboration with the Galactic Federation. That was the creation of the Earth Alliance and the development of a program named Solar Warden. A year after, the Greys arrived, and of course, they tricked the government. Eisenhower doesn't want to sign with them. He meets them and is really put off. But there's a second meeting that same year with the Majestic 12. And behind Eisenhower's back, the Majestic 12 signs agreements with the Greys, consisting in, we give you technology, you do whatever you want with it, and in exchange, we get some prisoners or some humans to do some genetic experiments, and they tell a lie, which is so enormous that I can't think how people believe this. The lie was, we are, us Greys, you from the future, and we need, our race is dying, and we need some DNA to reinfuse our genetics, which is completely BS because humans and Greys are two different species, and the future of Earth is human. That was really a lie. So they sign, and in the agreements, the Grey Treaty, the Grey says, you do your business and we do our business. We don't take care of each other's business, but you are giving us facilities underground to do our experiments. So it was okay. The problem was that once they were in, you can't get them out. And that was it. And abductions began as millions per year. In 1957, the Federation makes another move. They send an ambassador, Commander Val Thor, or they called him Valiant Thor, but it's not Valiant, it's just the Earth name interpretation. Thor means commander or in charge. He had a lot of work to do to check the situation with the Greys. He was there to enforce and help and the program of defense force. Also, he was there as a spy to report to the Federation what was going on with the Greys. So that's why he stayed at the Pentagon and he kind of made his way to infiltrate different areas to know what was going on with the Greys and report. Eisenhower was furious. He tried to storm Area 51 where the documents were, but even himself couldn't get in. Anyways, that's all other topics. Val Thor was there to help the American government stand up against the Greys and the military-industrial complex and the Majestic 12.
How, Elena, did Thor react to being betrayed, and how has the Galactic Federation conducted itself since that betrayal?
Val Thor was very concerned because they know, the Galactic Federation know the Greys. Well, they actually called the Nebu, the Dominion. They knew who they are because now the threat is gone, but they knew, and he was very concerned, and it was a very serious mission to actually try to save the world. How the Galactic Federation reacts with this kind of problem. Their actions are based in what they call the Prime Directive, same as in Star Trek, which is soft disclosure, not that soft, really great disclosure. The Prime Directive exists. It is a set of laws that is derived from the universal cosmic law of evolution. It's a natural law of evolution. What evolution involves, it involves free will. A being will make mistake and learn from their mistake and make their own decisions and just take routes of evolution regarding their decisions. When you interfere, you block the evolution and you alter it, except when there's a danger of extermination. And there was a danger of extermination. So it had to be played very carefully. First, the Prime Directive had been turned around with the collaboration with the Federation to build a defense fleet, Solar Warden, with the US Navy. So that was already around it. And then also, if the Greys had wanted to take the planet by attacking it and just taking everyone, killing everyone for their benefit, whatever they want to do with humans, the Federation would have intervened militarily because it would have been a direct breach of the Prime Directive, an attack on a victim world, and that was punishable. So they didn't do that. And they do that everywhere in the galaxy. They always do the same way. They meet leaders. They try to find the most greedy leaders, and they're going to deal with them to get them to represent the population and agree from their free will to be invaded. That was the 1955 agreements, were an agreement to be willingly invaded. And you mind your own business, we mind our own business. And that was clear. You let us have it. And once that was signed and of the free will of the leaders, what the Galactic Federation could do, it's only try to help what we call now the white hat leaders. But at the time it was not called like this, the government person in charge, to try to get this agreement rescinded, get this back, and try to work underneath to get the people to stand up and defend themselves. And it was very delicate. Through to recently, 2021, the Federation was trying their best to influence people to stand up against the Grey abductions. Because it's more complex than this. I'm sure, but maybe some people in the audience don't know all the whereabouts of it. It is important to mention that the Greys were working in collaboration with certain dark military programs of the government, especially in the US. The Air Force was well involved, not all the Air Force, some dark programs from it. And they working together, there was a program called MyLab Military Abduction. The dark military programs, Earthlings, humans, were abducting people for the Greys. So they were having at disposal small Greys, either clones or puppets animated with AI and clones. And actually, Stephen Greer described this, and I don't agree with everything he says, but on this, I agree with him. That's true. But there were also bad aliens. Some people remember under hypnosis being abducted by Grey aliens, being taken on a ship. That's real. And then waking up underground in a military base with military humans with military uniforms. They've been working together. So it was very difficult for the Federation to stop all this, because once humans are involved in the job, it's a question, here we go, evolution, free will. It was an extremely complex situation. So what the Federation did in 2021, they started an operation of liberation of the star system from the Greys, the Moon, Mars, and then started with the Earth Alliance, the clearing of the undergrounds. And actually that had started a little bit earlier. And the culmination and the apogee of the liberation of the undergrounds occurred in the year 2021. 2022, it kept on going a little bit, but it was just finishing the job. And the Greys were kicked out from the undergrounds and from many bases. And they captured tall Greys, Eban from Betelgeuse, were in charge at Dulce base. And thanks to that, they managed to crack the code of their hive, because they have minds. So it's a long story, but that's what happened.
Thank you for that. On several occasions, you met and talked with Val Thor on board motherships and also at his home located beneath the surface of Venus. Can you, Elena, describe the motherships you were on and tell me what Thor's home looked like?
The mothership is one of the four motherships of the Galactic Federation in orbit of Earth. It's huge. I mean, it's floating cities. And the one where I regularly go, it's a military station. So it's a combat station. But inside, although it's combat station, you have levels where you have habitat and you have even a park gardens inside, and you have leisure facilities like bars, for instance. And that's where I met with Val Thor, and his brother, Don, was there as well the first time. It was very impressive to me. I was shaking. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't realize the Val Thor. And he hadn't changed from the 1950s, 60s. He left in 62. We sat all together, all four together, Val Thor, his brother, myself, and Thorhan, my contact. There was a sofa area near a big bay window where we could see the earth. And I started to ask him questions. I was so nervous. In these moments, you go, oh, wow, me, I'm here with this man and all the history that's around him. I hope I'll ask the right questions because I wasn't prepared. Because when I go upstairs, I am given notice 10 minutes before for a safety reason. But I just let it go and I asked the right questions, which are in this book. I asked him if he had contact with other governments. He said he went to Russia as well. He spent time in Russia, which is not very documented. He gave a lot of information to the Russian government about different ET races. He said the Russian government wanted to go solo, didn't want at the time to work with the Federation. Things changed afterwards, but from the time where Val Thor was there, the Russian government, they were not warm to collaborate with anything. They were quite a bit paranoid. He told me that as well. He told me a lot about President Eisenhower. And that was incredible. And he confirmed to me, said that Eisenhower never signed agreements with the Greys, ever. He was against this. And he became very friendly with him, Val Thor. They became friends, and Val told me details about Dwight Eisenhower. Some objects that were in his office, for instance, the description of some background. He told me about his personality. He said, Dwight Eisenhower, what I liked in this man was that he loved his family. He was a family man, and he loved his children and his grandchildren especially. And Val Thor said, seeing this man and the beautiful heart filled with love for his grandchildren gave me motivation to have my own family, he said. So he said, because Eisenhower loved his children and the children globally so much, he was very concerned for the future of humanity and for what world he would leave to his grandchildren, whom he loved so much. And he had this very strong responsibility, Eisenhower, that he was the pivotal person. It was a pivotal moment in the history of Earth where we could go like this or like this. And it was extremely stressing, but he had the support of the Federation. But the dark forces behind were so powerful that at the end, nothing definitive could be done unless declaring a global war against the elites, and that would be another ball of game. So Val Thor left, but he said to Eisenhower in 1962, I'll be always in contact. We keep in contact. I'm going to work underneath with governments as an ambassador, but we keep contact, and I'll take care of your descendants.
Val Thor contacted both private individuals and public officials from different nations. This included the Soviets, which you just mentioned. And in regard to the Soviets, the KGB book on alien races has been circulating on the internet for some time now. Val Thor told you the information in it was true. What was that information?
It was a handbook for the KGB agents. That was made into a handbook for the KGB agents by the Russian government. At the start, Val Thor gave information. What are the races in interaction with Earth at the moment that you need to be aware of? There's much more, but you need to be aware of these ones. Positive and negative, who are your friends, who are not. So he gave them all this information. He didn't give any photograph of these races or visuals. It just described them. That the thing is now that when you have this KGB book of alien races that's now been published, you don't see the real ETs. You see the illustrations are from movies most of the time. So that's one point you need to know. I need to tell that a gift from the stars. When I started writing A Gift from the Stars, it was about my own personal experience of abduction and rescue. I was going to write a book about that, which is the first part of the book. And I was writing this, and one morning I found in my post box an A4 envelope with no name on it, blank, totally pure new. And it was written, the label was US Airmail. So someone had put that in my letterbox. I opened it. I went, what? And it was a copy of the KGB Book of Alien Races. No, nothing, not a word, nothing. And it freaked me out. So I asked my contact, what is it? And he said, no, it's not from me. It's probably some person who wants to help you that you write about this. Okay. So I was a bit scared. It took me an hour before opening this thing. And then I went through it and looked it up on internet. Okay, that's it. Wow, someone gave that to me. And I asked her, what am I supposed to do with that? He said, well, you'll find out. Can you at least tell me if this is based on true information and if there are fake stuff in it? He said, all the information, written information is real, is 100% true, but the illustrations are taken from movies and video games, etc. And I said, can you help me, please, to show me in my head because it can send me visions. Can you show me what they really look like, these races? And that started. I was starting to take notes. And he said, there are way more than these ones interacting with Earth. There are 110. Would you like to know? Yes. So I started to take notes and draw visuals and do drawings of what he was showing me. And that became the second part of A Gift from the Stars. I published it as a guidebook of alien races. But before, at one point, I said, okay, now that's a lot of information. What am I supposed to do with that? And he said, well, if you want to publish this, I need to ask authorization. And he did, and it was accepted. So that's what I did with it.
Went on a trip to a floating mothership city located high up in Jupiter's atmosphere. When there, you met with representatives of the Ashtar Command, who in 1952 contacted the Truman administration and warned them about the dangers of developing thermonuclear weapons. What were those warnings?
The Earthling started to explode, test nuclear weapons. It disturbed greatly the whole electromagnetic grid and biofield of the Earth. Suddenly, humans had become powerful enough to self-destruct like this. And regarding the leaders on Earth, there was the governments were not led by higher wisdom. They were led by greed and profit and war industry. So they were very concerned that we would just suppress. They could have let us do that, but they don't do that. Working for peace, justice, and balance, and preserving civilization, making sure they don't blow themselves up. They, at many occasions, they were sending messages or meeting government representatives saying, stop nuclear weapons, please, it's not good, etc.
Besides the Galactic Federation of Worlds, you, Elena, had direct contact with other extraterrestrial organizations that operated in our solar system. Who were these organizations? Where do they come from? What are their philosophies? How do they interact with each other? And perhaps most importantly for me, how do they view our planet?
I've been in contact with three other extraterrestrial organizations other than the Galactic Federation. The first one is the Council of Al-Nilam. It's not very known. It's a little council, but because I have a friend in there, Anax, his name. It's a highly advanced spiritual group of different races. They were 5, there are actually 7 now. They look after helping civilizations like Earth, planetary civilizations who are struggling in their spiritual development. So they are going to send envoys through incarnating into people to help awaken others. They're trying to contact also people by telepathy sometimes. They're doing this work to help spiritual growth of civilizations who are interfered with. You were mentioning the Ashtar Command. This is a mercenary organization. They are from Sirius B star system. They are humanoid. It's a collective of humanoids. You have Caucasian people. You have also Asian-looking, smaller people with triangular faces. These are the original Sirius B population, human genetics. They are offering their military service because they are very, very good. It's like the Roman legions. They are very organized, they're very good. They work for the Galactic Federation in our star system. They have an outpost in the higher atmosphere of Jupiter. I've been there twice on this base. I didn't like it because I wouldn't renew the experience if I was asked, because it's physically very challenging and mentally as well, because they scan everyone's mind constantly, that if your thoughts emit a frequency that can lead to trouble, such as I'm very scared, or I'm angry, or I'm resentful, or I want to do something bad, they will arrest you. And I was scared. The first time I was scared, and I had a security agent that came, a kind of android, weird, asking what is going on with me. I said, I'm just scared. Sorry. That was my experience with them. The other organization is the Intergalactic Confederation. They come from a collective of representatives from different galaxies. They have a group among them, a groupuscle, which is named the Cedars. There are 24 different cultures who are assisting creation, assisting the universe, spreading life forms. They terraform planets, they seed life on some planets. They have interfered in Earth evolution with seeding human genome from 11 different intergalactic genomes. I'm in contact with them a lot. I forgot the fifth one, because there's a person among them who is very linked to me. She's an emissary of one of the 24 culture, the Altians. And I remembered, she allowed me to remember that I was one of them once. So that is why I have this connection with them. And finally, I have a connection with an Anunnaki or Anach ship, mothership, which is in our star system at the moment in the orbit of Jupiter. It's good people.
Major global changes lie ahead for our planet. What, Elena, are these changes, and how do you suggest humankind prepare for them?
This joins the previous question, the part I didn't answer. How do they view us? They view us as who we are with our potential. They know that we are very powerful people, that with mind, we have the power to co-create our reality. And they know that, they see that. So they respect us and they try to guide us into a durable future, progressive and great future. They always support us and they admire us, even if they are technologically more advanced. They are admirers because they see our potential, because of all these 22 different DNA, extraterrestrial DNA frequencies within us, makes us special, Earth humans. One of them once told me, the Earth humans, they'll grow into becoming a highly spiritual race. They will be regarded as elders, and one day they will teach us, he said to me. So when the potential in the human race, you have no more doubt about the future. Big changes are coming. It has already started. And this is the great awakening of humanity, not only spiritually, but the awakening, which is more important, to what is really going on, what has been going on. And there are more and more whistleblowers coming out. The truth is coming out. And now there is a program for disclosure of ET presence and interaction in the history of Earth. And this has started to come out. You have had David Grush, now there's others, and it has started, and it won't stop. It won't stop, because you cannot unknow you cannot stop the truth to come out. So what the deep state does, they try to discredit the people who bring this truth. I'm victim of a smear campaign, which is absolutely horrendous. You just need to ignore and do your job. David Grush has also this. They will find suddenly a medical record to say, oh, he's crazy, or they will try to find something to discredit these people. Now we realize that every time the mainstream media displays someone as crazy, involved in whatever, they try to really put them down with its strength. That means, oh, this person is telling a truth that disturbs these people. So we win.
Should viewers of Paranormal Yacker want to buy We Will Never Let You Down, Encounters with Val Thor, and Journeys Beyond Earth, how, Elena, can they do that?
They can go to Amazon, where my book is. Otherwise, they can have it also via my website at www.elenadanaan.org/author, and they will find it.
Elena Danaan, I thank you for being my guest on Paranormal Yacker. Yakking with you has been most illuminating. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. This is Stan Mallow, the Paranormal Yacker. I hope you enjoyed the interview you just watched. So that you don't miss any upcoming shows, be sure to subscribe to my free YouTube channel. To do that, just press the subscribe button on your screen.